Alright, so I'm here in Lakeland, Florida, and of course the AC unit comes on right before I start videoing, and this unit's empty. So there's a mobile home with these bees going in and out right here. And it looks pretty cut and dry. See this? Very pretty new comb. Of course, it's more fragile. Let's see, I don't know what's going on in here yet. Looks like some bees are gathering in there. But it may just be a pathway to their comb. I don't think there's any comb up there. Alright, here's a better shot of these bees. I haven't opened them up yet, but you can see they're kind of crowded under that cover. So I've got this exposed a little bit more, all the way to right there in the back. And that looks like all honey back there in the very back. And newer comb and brood up here. So quite the beautiful hive underneath this mobile home. I'm gonna go ahead and start vacuuming. I've done about as much vacuuming in the front as I can for right now. But I've already cut this much comb out so far. You can see I've stabbed it onto my hardware cloth. Here's an old piece of hardware cloth I've used before. And that's basically what it is. There's some drone comb I'm putting to the side because I'm not having drone comb take up room. And honey. So here's what I've cut out thus far. And I'll clean up all this honey residue later. But making my way back. I'm not going to have a big enough hive today. I'll deal with that later. Who knows? I may have a ton of honey and not take up much of the hive more. After this comb that's drooping down, it may be all honey back there. Alright, so this is day 2. Sorry I couldn't film in a lot of detail yesterday. my hard drive space went out. I ran out of room on this phone because I had other junk on there I didn't know was on there. I had to delete a bunch of stuff last night. So anyway, overnight, this is full of comb. This hive number 1 right here from yesterday. And I filled up an ice chest full of honeycomb. And this is going to be hive 2 today. And some of you are wondering, well, what about the queen? Well, they'll either raise another queen in hive number 2, or I'll give them one. It's not that big a deal. Anyway, look at this. This hive, you know, usually under a mobile home, it just goes to about right there. Well, I started, you know, the honeycomb was in the back right there in that area. And now I thought it was going to stop at that support bar, you know, that iron. No. It goes all the way back. See, well, it did. The bees were solid back there. See where I have all that torn away, that cover back there, the insulation cover. It was wall-to-wall bees I had to vacuum up last night. So as you can see, there's a bunch of them bundled up right there on that comb. That's where the comb actually ends. So I'm gonna have to cut the rest of this out today. Vacuum and cut out, and then put that in hive number 2, at least the comb that's not full of honey. And I have another cooler here to put my honeycomb in. So these are, I'm not gonna say stragglers, but I'd say 80 to 90% of the bees are actually loyal to this hive right here, hive number 1. And this is kind of like the, you know, those bees are taking care of that remainder of comb, and they're cleaning up this comb right here that had honey on it. And I'll vacuum and smoke and honey be gone what's left. Alright, so here I am underneath this mobile home, this far back. And this is the bulk of what I'm going to be cutting out. There's a little bit of honeycomb right there that I didn't get yesterday. I'd say half of this is honey. You know, this front part is all honeycomb. The first comb is always the hardest, and let me make sure my dog's phone doesn't get dripped on. I'm laying it in my beehive lid in here to keep it clean off the dirt. that's all the back comb I cut out. I had to put it on the roof of my one of my hives and pile it all in there and drag it out, because there's no way I'm going to be cutting comb and take each piece out individually, you know, to the outside of the mobile home. So that's pretty much all the comb that's left in there. I have some cleaning up to do in there, obviously. So I'm about to put any brood comb that's in here, which is not much, and put it in there. And the honey I'm going to put in here. I believe the queen's probably in hive number 1, if I've probably mentioned that before. I just have a sneaky suspicion because a lot of bees were attracted to the vacuum cleaner catchment yesterday, the screen. And that's usually a pretty good sign the queen's in there. So let me get cleaning up this, and then I got to go back under the mobile home and cut out any remaining comb, and then smoke the bees out from under there, then honeybee gone them out. All right, so I've went underneath and vacuumed a lot of the bees out of there, and this is the third full bucket of bees I've gotten so far. They're liking this container too. So who knows, the queen could be in this one. So anyway, let me go under here and show everyone. Look at that hive, how sweet that is. They are loyal to that hive, and that's my secondary hive like I showed before, and I'll put any overflow into that one. But in the meantime, let's go take a tour of all this. So there's a few stragglers in here, but I'm getting ready to smoke them out. And then I'm gonna honeybee gone them out, and that's after I cut these last 2 pieces of comb out of here. And see, it's all clean back there. There's no stragglers that ran back there. Well, not right now. I got them all out. Either honeybee, I actually sprayed honeybee gone in that very back part. And then I cleaned up all this comb, vacuumed them. So this hive was starting to go pretty far back, and so not much left, not many bees left in here, and this comb just needs to be cleaned up. So I'm gonna get under here and start smoking. And then I'm gonna honeybee gone after I smoke. So that's taken care of a lot of stragglers already. And now I'm going to go get my bottle of honeybee gone and make it to where they don't want to go back at all. At least, you know, for the immediate future, so I can get them rounded up in my hive. Alright, here's my honeybee gone. Order it from Scott Derrick. I'm going to spray this back there now since I already smoked them out. And it'll get rid of any stragglers and keep them out for the immediate future. So let me get going with that. So, honeybee gone is done. No bees to speak of in there whatsoever. All the way down the line. They've pretty much given over to the fact that this is their new home. And any overflow bees will go in this hive. I'm sure I've mentioned that before. I need to actually inspect that hive and see if I can find the queen and put her in a clip. And I may split them up into 2 hives. I haven't decided yet. Alright, so this is the section of the removal called Reunited, and it feels so good. What I'm going to do is reunite these vacuum bees. By the way, there's been 2 other buckets I've poured in already yesterday. So this is going to be the 3rd vacuum bucket, and I'm going to pour it in that 2nd hive. So I have a sneaky suspicion the queen is in that hive right there. I inspected them, but I didn't find her. And I actually split a lot of that hive into this hive because the population was just too much. So I'm going to do a split. And what I did is I threw a queen clip in there that has a dead queen in it from something that happened the other day. So you can see a lot of bees attracted to that queen clip down in there. And so if I pour these bees in here, they'll be attracted to that scent even though she's dead. It'll just help anchor them in here. And I'm sure a lot of them are going to go to that hive, but I want the bulk of these bees to go to this hive and help this one get established. So here we go. I know it looks like chaos, but it's a ballet. So yes, a lot of them are airborne. Hey, that's just part of the ballet. I like working like this. They can't go anywhere except for these 2 hives. That's just, you know, by tonight, I'm going to have to help smoke them into the hives. But all of this chaos right here is part of the ballet. Because look, they are not going back in here because of the honeybee gone scent. I mean, you see some flying around in here, but they're not landing. So, the honeybee gone is an essential tool for doing removals, at least in my opinion. I can't do without it. So, you know, I vacuumed a lot of these bees first and then smoked them out after I cut the comb. And then I treated it with honeybee gone. So that controls the situation to where they will not want to land back in their former home. And plus, you know, all their comb, you know, brood, eggs, probably queen, are in one of these 2 hives. And look at all the chaos, but it's actually not chaos, it's beautiful. It's a controlled situation, and nighttime is going to bring it to a crescendo. I like seeing a lot of bees out and roaring, especially when I know they're not going to go back into their former home. So, you know, they're kind of wondering what's going on, of course. They just got poured out of a bucket. But as you can see, they're landing on both of these hives. They're loyal to them for the most part, and as night comes, they're going to be even more loyal. Look at these. Actually, what I'm going to do is put this hive up on these bricks. Yeah, you know, just to get the entrance off the ground. There's a queen clip, empty one I have ready just in case I found the queen, but I haven't found her yet. As you can see, there's a lot of bees very loyal to this hive right now, and I don't know if it's because of the dead queen I put in there, or I missed the queen when I got some comb out of that hive, you know, comb and bees, and then placed it into this hive. I basically split it off. So there's no telling what's going on, and I'll figure it all out pretty much when I get them home and everything settles down and I'm able to inspect everything better. But yeah, that's the sweet ballet happening right now. And it's a blast. Alright, so it's getting close to nightfall, and I have this hive on the right pretty much under control. Just a few stragglers on the front, I know, and none hanging out on the top. This one's coming together. I'll put one last bar in here pretty soon, and then, you know, at nightfall, smoke any last stragglers in and close up the front of the hive. But if you look under here, this will all be, you know, cleaned up more. But, no more bees. Thanks to vacuum cleaners and Honeybee gone and smoke. No more bees. In fact, yeah, right now I'm going to go through and clean some of this up with my scraper and knife and whatnot, and you guys don't need to be bored with that. I'll do that while there's still daylight. Alright, it's almost nightfall, and everything's very much under control. This is no big deal right here. They're all going to go in almost fully by night, and I'll smoke the last stragglers in and seal them. But I cleaned up under here quite a bit. Scraped as much comb as I could off of there. I mean, you're not going to get every last bit, so I mean, it's just the way life is. There's going to be always a little bit of remnant, and that'll be taken care of later with insulation and you know, a covering, like that kind of covering right there. So no more bees. Unless you're talking about a straggler or two flying around here before they go in the hive. But no more bees up here. They're all gone. And that's the main thing. I'll actually probably treat it with Honeybee gone one more time. The beautiful ballet is what this is. Oops, I need to smoke those from back there. I'll get on that now. I don't want them back there at nightfall. Alright, so my hives are sealed up for the night. Ready to take home. I see those one or two stragglers, that's no big deal. But I'll take care of them. Got all the comb cleaned up from underneath the home. You know, I scraped it as good as I could. Goes all the way back there. No honeybees left. None whatsoever. Not even a single bee left behind. Okay. Alright, so here are the two hives the next morning. They seem to be settling in just fine. I haven't inspected them yet here in my yard. But they look very happy and content. And I will inspect them a little bit later and see if I can find the queen and do something about getting the queenless version a queen, either by letting them build one or pulling a queen out of one of my nukes or whatever. So nonetheless, both colonies will be fine. It helps to have plenty of supplies, you know, around your yard of other bees. So if you only have one or two hives, you're always struggling to find supplies and queens and all that stuff, but it helps to have multiple hives. Makes life a lot less stressful. Alright, I saw the queen on here. I had to start my camera. Where'd she go? There she is. Miss Queenie, walking on the bar. I need to get her back in. There she is on top of the bar. Yep, so found the queen in this hive number 1. I already see some bees bringing in pollen the very next day. Boy, this hive has a lot of bees. I'm probably gonna have to split them again here real soon. But I put a lot of empty bars in there to keep them busy in the meantime. And this is hive number 2. By the way, I pulled a queen clip out of hive 2 that had the dead queen in it, and the reason I put her in there is just to anchor those bees for the night, just so I could get them home. So I pulled her out so they'll know for sure they're queenless, and they'll start building a queen. And, very, very successful removal. It's pretty tough, but all in all, really good. A couple of should be really good hives, especially that one.